So with that, welcome again to today's training, 50 Tech Tips You Absolutely Should Know. I'm Liz Keith. I'm the Law Help Program Manager with Pro Bono Net, and thank you all for joining us today. We're really thrilled to have such a big group. This training is the second in a series of webinars focusing on helping legal services programs better understand how technology can support their mission and service delivery goals. And this series is funded by the Legal Services Corporation's TAKE program and offered through a partnership between the Legal Services Technology Assistance Project at the Northwest Justice Project and Pro Bono Net. And today's webinar has a kind of a long and storied history in the community. It's one of the most popular trainings in this series, and it's done at some of the major national conferences too. And we're going to spotlight quick, easy, and low-cost tips to help you get the most out of technology, including tips to help you work and stay connected better. And whether you live and breathe technology every day or think of yourself as something of a technophobe, hopefully there are several tips that really resonate with you here and you can put to use right away. So we have a great panel with us to discuss this topic. We have Leah Peebles from Colorado Legal Services, Anna Heinlein from Legal Assistance of Western New York, Kim Marshall from the Arkansas Legal Services Partnership, and then we wanted to thank all of you who responded to our call for tech tips on the LS Tech listserv as well. We wanted to do things a little bit differently this year and crowdsource tech tips, and we got many great ones and more than we can include, but really appreciate all of you sharing your collective wisdom, and we'll go through about 10 of those tips at the end of the training today. So I'll go ahead and kick things off here with our first 10 tips. So I'm going to start with two Google-related tools that are, I think, maybe not quite as known in the community as some of the other tools in the Google toolbox. Everybody has probably used Google's image search, which allows you to search the web for image content based on keywords. But you might not know that Google now also has a reverse image search tool that lets you find a specific image or copies of a specific image. And it's very easy to use. If you go to the typical Google image search, you'll see a camera icon. And clicking on that camera icon allows you to upload an image from your desktop or insert the URL for an image that lives online someplace. And this is a really handy tool if you're wondering where an image you found originated or are maybe looking for other sizes of a specific image. Yeah, it's also something to keep in mind if you're shopping for stock photos on free stock photo sources or image sites like Getty Images or iStockPhoto, and you're wondering how widely that image is used on the web. So you can, as you can see in the example down here, I pulled the preview of an image from the Getty stock photo site to see what other sites were using it and whether that's something we would want that is unique enough to use on one of our own materials. So it's good when shopping for stock photos, or also to find out where your own graphics, logos, or artwork is being used on the web in places that you might not realize. Another Google tip, this is kind of two-in-one, but is Google's URL shortener. So like Bitly, another popular shortener tool, Goog.le will condense long web addresses into very short ones. And it provides stats that will tell you how many times that link was clicked on and where people were referred from. So if you distributed Google short link through Twitter or Facebook, you'll be able to track how many times the clicks originated from those sources. What's also neat about this tool is that it automatically generates a QR code for each link that you shorten. And you can access that QR code by clicking on the link called Details beside the corresponding URL. And you can add that QR code to print materials or signage or other marketing materials, and users can scan it with their smartphone to access a link or that particular short link that you created. So it's handy both just as a URL shortener, but also if you need a way to create a URL or a QR code. So my next two tips are related to YouTube. So there's a lot of really great video content that's been posted by the legal aid community to YouTube. Educational videos, trainings, conference sessions, maybe guest speakers that you've had at events. And as many of you know, you can take that video content from YouTube and embed it on any website or blog using or intranet using Google's embed code. But what you might not know is with a little simple hack of that embed code, you can set the video to start at a specific time. So if you have a video that's kind of long, maybe a half an hour or an hour, a speech or a conference workshop that you want to embed on your website, but you're only interested in one segment of that, you can insert this variable that I've highlighted in blue on the slide here. It's the time variable, and insert that at the end of the URL for your video, followed by the number of seconds that you want your video to start at. So in the example on the right here, this video that was produced by Pro Bono Net is set to start at a minute and 3 seconds in. If you're using YouTube's old embed code, you can do the same thing, but the variable that you'll insert is slightly different here. You'll insert the and start variable at the end of the embedded, or the end of the tag that references that video, and you can use seconds there as well. So this works both with the newer version of YouTube's embed code or the old embed code. You can also do this with a link. So if you're not embedding a video on your website, but you want to send somebody a link to a video and have it start at a particular time, Google's sharing features allow you to do this. So this screenshot is a capture of the video sharing tools beneath a YouTube video, and you'll see the link that it generates, and to the right, a box that allows you to set the start time for this particular video. And the link that it generates will have that time variable appended, and when somebody clicks on it, it will automatically start a minute and 50 seconds in. So sticking with our video theme here, Ustream is a really interesting tool that is about 5 years old at this point. And it's essentially an interactive web streaming platform that lets you create your own broadcast channel to broadcast events live through Ustream or on a third-party site like Facebook. And the site began, I think, in 2007 or 2008 as a way to connect soldiers in remote locations with their families at home by allowing for live, synchronous, face-to-face interaction through live streaming and live chat. But the site has kind of grown over time, and the founders have really emphasized that the site promotes event casting rather than live casting like sites like Justin TV. So registration is free. All you need to broadcast through Ustream is an internet connection and a webcam. And you can use it to stream live events like conference sessions or award events or interviews with experts in your community. It's being used to some extent by nonprofits. One of the best examples I found was the New American Foundation, which is using it heavily to broadcast live and then make available in an archived way their forums. And then it's being used increasingly by colleges and universities to live stream class sessions and guest speakers. So worth checking out if you've been wondering how to get into live streaming in a way that's low cost and low overhead. So last year, it seemed like the year, I don't know if it was because it was an election year, but it seemed like the year of the infographic. It seemed like everywhere you turned, different media sites were presenting these, different visual representations of data and trying to kind of top each other in how they do that. So I wanted to highlight 3 free infographics tools, starting from I think the most simple and most accessible one to the most robust. And the first one is called Wordle, and it's a free online tool for generating word clouds from text that you provide. It's very easy to use. You simply copy and paste a bunch of text into a field on the Wordle website or insert the URL for a blog or a web page. And this example is one I created with the text of Bill Clinton's now famous speech at the Democratic Convention last year. And you can tweak different characteristics of your Wordle, for example, using different fonts or having a layout that's more horizontal or vertical, and Wordle also provides different color options. And you can save your word clouds to a gallery or print them out or use them in your own websites and print materials. So another tool that's a little more sophisticated but that I have still found easy to use is called Easily. And Easily is a little bit more sophisticated in that it provides a set of kind of pre-designed themes for your infographic. And there are a few examples in the menu bar at the top of this slide. And you can select one of those and it will pre-populate a canvas with pre-made design elements like bubbles or bar graphs or maps. And you can drag and drop those elements around in an online editor, edit text within the graphics, and manipulate shapes and colors, also insert your own photos or graphics. And then like Wordle, you can save or export your finished infographic as an image file. So Easily is still in beta mode. It's free right now, but just a note that the pricing and features may change somewhat as it moves out of beta. So the last tool that in the infographics world that I'm going to mention here is Infogram. And Infogram is, I think, a little bit more, even a little bit more sophisticated than Easily. It also has stock templates that you can manipulate and use by dragging and dropping design elements in an online editor. It also has a community of infographics professionals that you can contract with to do something more sophisticated. One interesting addition here with Infogram and then a similar tool called Visual.ly, which I haven't highlighted here, but it's VISUAL.ly, is that you can associate a Google Analytics profile with your account, and it will automatically generate a weekly infographic about your site's performance based on that data. So that screenshot to the right is an example of that from Visual.ly. And so far that feature is free on that site. And there was a question in the chat box about what are some of the benefits of making word clouds, or and I'll extend that to infographics. If you're looking for inspiration or a way in which I think a program has used infographics in a powerful way, check out the Pinterest page for the Center for Computer Assisted Legal Instruction, or CALI for short. They've created some really nice visuals. I'm not sure what tools they've used, but they've created some really nice visuals about law student or law school membership and participation in CALI, and the value that law schools are getting out of participating in CALI's programs. So it's a really, I think, neat representation of their work that's definitely worth checking out as a source of inspiration. So my last 3 tips here are related to places to learn new tech skills. So 3 online sources for to keep your tech skills sharp or learn new tech skills. The first is the Goodwill Community Foundation website that has a number of free, very excellent self-paced tutorials on common Office applications like Excel, Word, PowerPoint, Google Apps,
Line muted.
Many of their tutorials are available in English and Spanish, and they follow this outline format here with a set of staged lessons and then interactive exercises to help you practice your skills. And I've been really impressed at the quality. I've looked at a couple of the Excel ones myself, and I've been really impressed at the quality and thoroughness, as well as the currency of classes offered here. So if you're looking for a source of basic office skills classes or courses for your staff, this is a great place to look. Another source is the howto.gov, and specifically the DigitalGov University portal on howto.gov. And this is the kind of online, on-demand learning center specifically focused on federal employees and technology training for those employees. And you can get a sense of the scope of the training topics here. They range from very technical topics like how to construct and produce an API and data standards within APIs, to less technical topics that are geared more towards communication and content managers on topics like social media. Their live trainings often require a fee or require that somebody is a federal employee to participate, but many of their archived trainings are available for free on demand in a video format like you see on the right. And then lastly, one of the kind of oldest schools, online schools out there is W3 Schools, and this is geared more towards a technical audience, but has some really, I think, helpful basic tutorials in areas like HTML or CSS. If you do any just basic HTML coding as part of your day job, or have been wondering what HTML tags that you see around mean, W3 Schools has, again, self-paced tutorials that walk through simple explanations of what the HTML code is, and then they have provide online editors and exercises for you to test what you've learned. It does have its critics. There are some people who feel like the content here is not as up-to-date as it should be, but I think for, in particular for some of the basic HTML tutorials, that those still hold up pretty well and are a great starting point. Great. So I'm going to go ahead now and turn it over to, I'll just pause and see if there are any questions, and then I'll turn it over to Leah for our next segment. Okay, and I see Luke also suggested Code Academy as another good site for self-teaching HTML, CSS, etc., and says that it makes it kind of fun even with achievements. So that's a great tip. Thanks, Luke.